23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punch.
So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford, but you never know.
Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather met earlier this week to prepare for Crawford's upcoming fight against Canelo Alvarez in September. The two Americans held private training sessions, where Mayweather, the first man to defeat Canelo, helped Crawford sharpen his boxing skills to avoid falling short against his opponent. In response, Canelo Alvarez has finally broken his silence. The Mexican superstar previously faced Mayweather over a decade ago, with their bout taking place at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas in September 2013.
You fought Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him, because if you beat him, you wanna be the best in the world at 23.
At 23 years old, Canelo Alvarez entered the fight as the reigning WBC super welterweight champion, boasting an undefeated record of 42 wins and 1 draw. Floyd Mayweather, the WBA super welterweight champion, had a similar record at 44-0 but was 36 years old and nearing the end of his career. Many fans believed Canelo had a chance to hand Mayweather his first defeat. However, the fight didn't go as expected, with Alvarez struggling against the legendary boxer. Mayweather secured a victory by decision, though the scorecards were surprisingly close, with one judge even ruling it a 114-114 draw.
When you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
No.
What do you
I think
was?
it's tough fights and difficult fights. That was a difficult fight.
After going 12 rounds with Mayweather, Canelo summed up his rival's boxing ability in just 3 words: he has everything. Speaking on the Full Send podcast, Canelo admitted that while Mayweather didn't hurt him during their fight, power wasn't something he needed. He's experienced, he's so smart, he's a complete fighter. He doesn't have power in his punches, but when you're that skilled, you don't need it, Canelo explained.
Big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo.
Mayweather went on to retire with a perfect 50-0 record, while Canelo now holds a record of 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, his only other defeat coming against Dimitri Bivol in May 2022. Although he acknowledges Mayweather's greatness, Canelo isn't fully convinced about his partnership with Terence Crawford. Initially, he was hesitant to take on the 37-year-old from Omaha, but it seems the Mexican star has had a change of heart and is now preparing for his next big challenge.
About a small fighter like Charlo, he's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
In an interview with a well-known boxing platform, the 34-year-old shared his thoughts on a potential fight with Terence "Bud" Crawford, admitting he wouldn't receive much credit for it. I respect Crawford, he's a great fighter. I always say that, no disrespect to him. But sometimes, it's crazy how people talk about a smaller fighter like Charlo, who is actually bigger, and then expect me to fight Crawford, who competes at 147 and is even smaller than Charlo. It doesn't make sense. But you guys are saying it now, he explained. At the end of the day, if I fight Crawford, I won't get any credit. But you never know in boxing. I move up and down in weight and fight everyone. So, why not? It's possible.
Fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say.
This echoed a previous interview where he expressed a similar stance, saying, "I'm in, why not?" Don't get me wrong, Crawford is a great fighter, but in my weight class, it's an easy fight for me. Easy money. If the money is right, I'm in. I don't really like fighting guys like Crawford because he moves a lot, and that doesn't make for a great fight. But I saw his last fight, and he doesn't move as much now, so yeah, if the money is right, I'm in. However, one of Mexico's greatest boxers doesn't see much competition in a potential showdown between two of the sport's best.
Crawford wins con Canelo. No le gusta Crawford Canelo. He said don't be asking.
Julio Cesar Chavez became a beloved figure in Mexican boxing for his relentless fighting style and incredible 89-fight unbeaten streak. In contrast, Canelo Alvarez often faces criticism for not always taking on the toughest possible opponents, with talk of a potential September showdown between Canelo and Terence Crawford, though not yet confirmed. Chavez shared his blunt opinion. When asked about the fight, the legendary Mexican boxer responded in his signature style, "Where is Crawford going to beat Canelo?"
Okay, if you play baseball and not boxing, would you be a great baseball player? Because I saw you with the Padres. ¿Número uno en la historia de béisbol?
Chavez is one of several former boxers who have criticized the potential Canelo vs. Crawford fight, with the main concern being the weight difference. Canelo competes at 168 pounds, while Crawford recently moved up to 154 pounds for his fight against Israel Madrimov. The fight awaits official confirmation. Sheikh Turki Alik, the main promoter pushing for the matchup, took a unique approach, inviting both fighters to face off in the video game Fatal Fury, City of Wolves. For now, that remains the only confirmed fight, as he even shared a screenshot of a conversation between the two boxers.
We want financials.
Tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes. Let's go. Canelo, come on.
You heard it from him.
We are ready.
Just put me in the game, coach. Just put me in the game.
We're not talking about boxing, we're talking about the video game Fatal Fury, City of Wolves, which releases on April 24, 2025. I challenged them in the game because that's the only way I can challenge them to a fight. They accepted, and we'll have dinner together. We decided against the boxing match because the three of us hate boxing and chose yoga instead. Keep talking, keep spreading rumors. At the end of the day, only the three of us know and decide when, where, and how things happen, read Sheikh Alik's cryptic message. However, this statement contradicts Team Crawford's stance, as they have reportedly confirmed a blockbuster showdown against Canelo Alvarez on September 13th.
Being that you're obviously, again, appealing to Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13th, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Who heard it?
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand?
Crawford and Canelo are two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world today. While Canelo competes at super middleweight, Crawford is preparing to move up from 154 pounds to take on the Mexican star. Bernie Davis, a key member of Crawford's team, has now claimed that the fight is set for September. Speaking to Fight Hype, Davis confidently stated, "We will climb that mountain, it's on, baby." September 13th, look forward to it. Crawford vs. Canelo. As I said, Crawford vs. Canelo. Yeah, it's confirmed. Crawford vs. Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford stands up. Asterisk.
Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford stand up, pound for pound, the best in the world, soon to be the super middleweight champion of the world.
If the fight happens, Crawford acknowledges there will be challenges. He knows he'll have to be aware of Canelo's size and power, but as he told us, "I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life," and he guarantees a victory. "Of course, I'll beat him," the undefeated star said. "There's no doubt in my mind that I wouldn't beat anyone I step in the ring with." And that's it for now. For the latest updates on news, moments, events, and action in the world of boxing, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.
Come my way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight,
I've been wanting this fight. It's a legacy fight, the biggest one in boxing right now. This is the final big challenge, the one that will define it all. You've got two top 3 pound-for-pound fighters going head-to-head. I know Canelo is the bigger guy, but I'm ready for the challenge. It's all about respect, and if he chooses to face me in the ring, it's going to be an electrifying battle.
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'll be a well-fought fight for.
The surprising case was his rematch with Tyson Fury, where the Gypsy King weighed in at an astounding 281 pounds, while Usyk came in at 226 pounds, a massive 55 pounds difference. Yet, Usyk still managed to defeat Fury decisively. Chael Sonnen pointed out that many fighters who have moved up to heavyweight have shown that weight discrepancies aren't as significant as people often believe. I think that attitude means something. That's the one thing I like about the heavyweights, there's a big weight discrepancy, and the misconception that the bigger guy is the better guy gets proven wrong, Sonnen passionately explained. He went on to highlight the careers of Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, who were often the smallest fighters in the ring but still managed to overpower larger opponents. Now, with Alexander Usyk continuing to break that misconception, Sonnen believes he deserves the Fighter of the Year award. My Fighter of the Year is Usyk, declared the UFC legend.
That right now, at the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford, but
As a result, Canelo feels his potential victory over Crawford might not get the credit it deserves, which is one of the reasons he's cited for not agreeing to the fight. Although there has been some progress, due in part to his excellence, Canelo has previously denied the fight because of the weight disparity. Rising above this issue is exactly why Chael Sonnen believes Alexander Usyk deserves the title of Fighter of the Year. According to Sonnen, when other fighters can't look past a 3 to 4 pounds weight difference, Usyk gave up 41 pounds. When Usyk moved up to heavyweight in 2019, he had to face opponents much heavier than him in every fight since. Usyk has never exceeded 225 pounds, while all his opponents have weighed over 240 pounds, except for Daniel Dubois in 2023. Chaz Witherspoon weighed 242 pounds, Derek Chisora was 255 pounds, and Anthony Joshua was 240 pounds.
No, you never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So, it's possible. Why not?
Even though Garcia is serving a ban and had the win expunged from his record, Haney filed a lawsuit against him in December. Garcia, in turn, filed a countersuit against Haney. However, it seems the two might now be working toward a rematch, though their rivalry still remains as heated as it was last year. On the other hand, according to Chael Sonnen, this unwillingness of boxers to overlook a few pounds is preventing the dream fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. You've got Bud Crawford or you've got Canelo, and these guys are sitting here talking about why they shouldn't have to do things that are hard over 3 pounds, contended the UFC veteran. However, in Canelo Alvarez's case, he believes the weight difference will make the fight one-sided in his favor.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that.
Boxing has, in my opinion, one very fair criticism, said Chael Sonnen, a former boxer with Olympic aspirations in 2000. I feel it's okay to speak on it. Sonnen then launched into an attack on fighters like Canelo Alvarez and Devin Haney, highlighting how many boxers refuse to take on good fights due to a minimal weight difference. He used the example of Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney to illustrate his point. You talk about a couple of pounds, and suddenly they don't want to fight, Sonnen said. Who's this guy? He ends up getting beaten by Ryan Garcia, who tests positive for PEDs. And that guy is still complaining about the weigh-ins. For those who may not know, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are involved in one of the most controversial rivalries, as Garcia tested positive for PEDs after their fight last year.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say, oh, he hasn't fought nobody or no.
As the trio debated their Fighter of the Year on the Ring Magazine's podcast, UFC veteran Chael Sonnen couldn't help but highlight the biggest curse in boxing, one that has affected every boxer. Dan Rafael quickly named Alexander Usyk as the Fighter of the Year without hesitation, but Sonnen had some reservations. The 47-year-old pointed out that Usyk only fought one opponent twice in 2024, while other fighters faced 2 or 3 different opponents. However, in the end, Sonnen also went with Usyk, noting that the unified heavyweight champion hasn't been plagued by boxing's biggest curse, something that has held the sport back compared to other combat sports in recent times, according to Sonnen.
Everybody that he fought was a no-name, but I'm gonna tell you like this, what Crawford said. Well, they was something until Crawford fought him, so obviously he's doing a great.
The weight disparity between Canelo and Crawford recently sparked a discussion between Chael Sonnen and Dan Rafael, and for once, Terence "Bud" Crawford's decision to move up in weight doesn't seem so foolish. 2024 was an incredible year for boxing, with record-breaking fights and massive paydays. It was a tough year to call, but Canelo Alvarez once again dominated, winning 2 fights convincingly. Meanwhile, Artur Beterbiev became the first ever undisputed light heavyweight champion in the modern era. However, according to Boxing Insider Showbiz, sports writer Dan Rafael, and former UFC middleweight contender Chael Sonnen, the year actually belonged to none other than Alexander Usyk.
Because he's making everybody look normal.
Not everyone, like when they go against Canelo, I don't think there's anyone else in boxing who you would ask and say.
However, there's one key issue to address. Crawford would need to make an additional 14-pound jump to match the weight and category of Canelo. Canelo has steadily moved up in weight over the years, starting at super welterweight, where he won the WBC world title. He then became the unified middleweight champion, made a brief stop at light heavyweight to defeat Sergey Kovalev and capture the IBF belt, and finally settled at super middleweight, where he became the first undisputed champion in that division.
This is a possible task for Crawford because of his pound-for-pound abilities, and apparently no rehydration clause. Am I hearing that right? He wants full smoke at that.
Both fighters met off Al-Shaq's radar in London last week, and it appears they began discussing terms for the long-awaited clash between two of the best pound-for-pound fighters today. The fight is scheduled for the weekend of Mexico's Independence Day celebrations in mid-September. ESPN reported that boxing insider Mike Coppinger mentioned, "From what I'm told, they're in the process of finalizing a deal for a fight in September, during Mexican Independence Day weekend." It will take place in Las Vegas, with a 168 pounds weight limit and no rehydration clause.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best, so hey, why put stipulations in there when you...
Surprisingly, Crawford is the taller of the two, though only slightly. He's also known for his ability to adapt to any situation, and his extraordinary confidence means he likely won't see himself as the underdog. Instead, Crawford will approach the fight with seriousness, focus, and a well-thought-out game plan. Ultimately, he's a practical-minded fighter, and so is Canelo. However, Canelo possesses the power to hurt anyone. Chick Alec, a passionate boxing fan, has promised that by 2025, he will bring several world-class fights to the table, with the potential jewel in the crown being the long-awaited showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, possibly set for September.
That you can be the best. So let's go test ourselves.
Look, I appreciate you taking this time. We don't get to speak all the time, so it's good to get you over here, and maybe we'll catch up later in 5 weeks, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
Both Canelo and Crawford know what it's like to be undisputed champions, a rare feat in today's boxing world. Each fighter has also experienced the pressure of fighting under the brightest lights. Canelo has been in several major super fights, facing legends like Gennady Golovkin and Floyd Mayweather. Meanwhile, Crawford had his first super fight in 2023, dominating fellow welterweight champion Errol Spence in 9 rounds of one-sided action. If this fight is signed and made official, it's understandable that Canelo would be the early favorite. After all, he's been fighting at super middleweight, while Crawford has just recently moved up to junior middleweight.
First, what did you think of his performance versus Berlanga?
I think he put on a great performance, like he always do. Canelo is Canelo. I think Berlanga on a tremendous show as well. He showed a lot of heart and grit and determination as well, and that made for a great fight.
What makes a potential Canelo versus Crawford fight especially significant is the fact that both fighters are likely nearing the end of their Hall of Fame-worthy careers. The 34-year-old Canelo has been fighting professionally for nearly 20 years, compiling an impressive February 1st, 62 record. However, some of his battles, particularly the 2 controversial bouts with Gennady Golovkin, have undeniably taken their toll. As for Crawford, at 37 years old, he's not getting any younger, with 41 fights under his belt. That said, the man has never lost in the ring. Viewed through this lens, a Canelo versus Crawford matchup makes a lot of sense, as both men are likely wondering what challenges remain for them to conquer.
You said what you had to say. I don't know if you saw it. Canelo was asked about the live stream that you and Turk did during the fights, and Canelo said no comment. Your reaction to that, and that seems like that you do want this fight now.
Well, I've been wanting to fight. I feel as if
pound for pound the best in the world, soon to be the super middleweight champion of the world. That's the challenge Crawford was looking for, and it's only right. We deserve this challenge to be on the big stage, in a mega fight, in what we call a David versus Goliath battle, he said. He continued, "We know we have a lot of disadvantages in this fight: weight, power, and other factors. But as far as accomplishments and skill set, Crawford is right up there. What Canelo has done is incredible: 2-time undisputed unified champion across 3 weight classes, a 4-division champ, and he's been on the pound-for-pound list for over 10 years. What more could you ask for? We didn't get the Pacquiao fight, the Mayweather fight, or anyone of that caliber. This is the fight.